I think this type of intelligence, which is referred to as interpersonal intelligence, will be a challenge for AI or artificial intelligence, because I think this interpersonal intelligence needs a high degree of theory of mind. You have to be able to understand and predict the others' behaviors, emotions, desires, motives, and also you have to attribute some mental states of yourself and and also to attribute these mental states to others. So interpersonal intelligence needs a high degree of theory of mind, and this area has to do with interaction with others. And as I said before, this is a challenge for artificial intelligence.
So, interpersonal intelligence, of course, how can we develop our social and emotional quotient? How is it that we can develop empathy? We need to ask ourselves. And empathy is such a big word these days. So, when I had gone to Stanford and attended the K through 12 design thinking lab at the Stanford Design School, the D School, it all started with empathy. It's about being able to think from the other's point of view, not from your own point of view. How is it that we can enhance our people skills is really important. Now, there's a lot of research and articles that we found that really at the end, when we when we come down to it, it's not really money that makes us happy. It's really our relationships that make us happy. How do we invest in our relationships? So when we look at it from the point of view of seven habits, well, habit number 4, 5, and 6 is all about public victory. It's all about working well with other people. It's all about optimizing our relationships. So if we can think win-win, if we can have an abundance mentality, how do we sort of create that team spirit and cooperation? When we had a lockdown and we had online classes going on, the kids were at home, the parents were trying to like navigate that space. We asked them, since we're Leader in Me school, we said, why don't you share videos of your kids actually cooperating and participating with you in the home? And we had all these videos pour in, and then we shared them with parent permission, and that kind of inspired a whole host of other kids to sort of do the same. So they were vacuuming, they were setting the table, they were baking, they were helping cut vegetables, they were watering plants. There was just so many things because, there were parents that were home. They're also working online, and the kids are online, and really, and maids have kind of gone off to the village or whatever, and there's no help at home. So how is it that they can actually work cooperatively in a group? How can they synergize? So group collaboration, we also know that collaboration is a 21st century skill. But habit number 5, it's all about building relationships with empathy. Learning from others is so important. And really, for me in my life, um, I love asking questions. I love learning from other people. For me to talk about myself is very boring because I know I've lived that life already. But it's more interesting for me to learn from others, and I would like to know how they do it and how they do it best, and that really enriches my life. One of the key things in Kavi's book is the emotional bank account. We need to be aware of how are we depositing in each other's emotional bank accounts. And the more deposits that we make with a smile, with that cooperation, with that little helping hand, with, empathetically listening, without judgment, without our own filters, understanding where is it that they're coming from. Oprah said that most of the world's problems of all the people that she's witnessed were was stemming from a failure to be seen, a failure to be heard. So just imagine how essential that human need is, to be seen and to be heard. And when we can, build up our loved ones' emotional bank accounts, or even the people who are a little bit far removed, strangers, the security, the people who help us. It is all about building trust, building this richness, so that we can have that sort of security and safety to draw and rely on each other and depend on each other and draw from that emotional rich bank account. Okay, so I think that we would not be able to be here together if it wasn't for technology. There's a lot of social platforms out there that I'm sure all of us are part of. There is good and bad to it. I mean, hopefully, we're using it for good. There is times where I've actually reached out to some friends who are posting very negative, hateful, sort of divisive, sort of reposting, I would say, messages. I just privately messaged them. I said that, whatever you post, you're amplifying it, not just for yourself, but for hundreds, maybe even thousands of people. What do you want to put out there? What do you want to amplify? Do you want to amplify fear? Do you want to amplify hate? Or do you want to amplify love and unity and togetherness? You have a choice. It's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what you should post and not post, but I'm just saying, just become aware of what it is that you're posting, and whatever it is that you're saying, it's amplified. It's like ripples in a pond. So that's about social platforms. But coming back to conversation starter questions, I want to say that in my friend circle, I'm kind of known as the question queen. I love asking these deep dive questions, these really, really interesting conversation starter questions that really help you discover, other people more intimately. And when we can share this around, a living room or a fireside chat when you're traveling, on the dinner table, it's so interesting. Any social gathering, I feel like it's not satiating enough unless there's one deep dive question, and it's given us a chance to sort of connect more intimately with one another. So if anyone wants to visit, my website for any other videos that I have, articles that I have, I have the entire gamut of multiple intelligence videos and the entire A to Z brain compatible learning videos on my website. I mean, they're also on YouTube as well, but that's kind of an easy way to, access them. So if anybody wants to find out a little bit more about brain compatible learning and multiple intelligence, they're welcome to visit the site.
So you can figure out now that one core element in interpersonal or of interpersonal intelligence is your ability to think from the other's point of view, not your own point of view. And individuals who have high interpersonal intelligence are characterized by their sensitivity to others' mood, feelings, temperaments, and motivations. Also, their ability to cooperate in order to work as a part of a group. And as I said before, this is a challenge for artificial intelligence because, in order to be characterized by, or in order to make the machine be characterized by interpersonal intelligence, we should provide it with some theory of mind in order to be able to attribute mental states to oneself or others, and in order to acquire the ability to be sensitive to others' moods, feelings, emotions, motivations, desires, and also be able to understand and predict the other's behavior. And of course, Gardner believes that careers that suit those with this intelligence include salespersons, politicians, managers, teachers, counselors, and social workers. Now, what do we mean by intrapersonal intelligence?